Hey guys, Kyle the Otaku here, and I just got out of a screening of The Strangers Chapter 1. Oh, silly me. Sorry. That was the wrong case. Whoa! The third installment of the Strangers franchise and the first chapter in a supposed trilogy just hit theaters a couple days ago. Now, The Strangers is a horror series I am semi-aware of. I bought the first film on DVD back in middle school, and I recall it being pretty creepy with how the strangers linger in the background of some shots. The second one, Strangers Prey by Night, came out to pretty bitter reactions from fans of the first film, which I understand. The tone is a lot more of a campy, violent slasher than the more subtle and subdued tone of the first movie. It's been a hot minute since I've seen either of these movies, so I figured I'd refresh myself before going in to see the new one. Which may have been a mistake, you'll find out why soon enough. So yeah, I guess this is a semi-Shelf of the Damned, I guess. The first Strangers, released in 2008, was a suspense-powered home invasion film, and it delivers on the suspense as promised. It's just a shame that the rest of the movie was kind of dull. How dare! Yeah, I'm in the corner that thinks the first film was a little too slow and not all that interesting. Hell, as of writing the script for this video, I couldn't even remember the main two characters' names. And I watched it the night before. All in all, I like the cinematography, but not so much the characters outside of the strangers themselves. Prey by Night, on the other hand, Prey by Night held my attention completely. I loved the shift in tone from the first film. This is more my speed, even if, again, the characters aren't that much to write home about. After revisiting the previous two films, I have come to the conclusion that going into a Strangers movie, it's like opening a Kinder Egg. You never know what you're gonna get. So essentially, even though I refreshed myself on the franchise, I went into this one blind as a bat. Except I didn't. Because I've seen this movie already. Again, we'll get to that soon. The Strangers Chapter 1 was written by King of the Hill producers Alan Cohen and Alan Friedland, both of whom have writing credits in American Dad, The Nanny, and, yes, King of the Hill. They're also slated to write the next two chapters of this trilogy. For better or worse. The film was directed by Finnish filmmaker Renny Harlin, whose previous horror credits include Deep Blue Sea, The Exorcist: The Beginning, and A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Those of you who have seen some of my other videos know that Nightmare 4 is my favorite Elm Street, so, needless to say, I trust Renny when it comes to horror. The film follows a couple on a cross-country road trip when their car craps out in an eerie Georgia mountain town. Forced to stay the night at an Airbnb cabin in the middle of cousin-fuck nowhere, they are set upon by a trio of masked crazies who want nothing more than to torment them mentally and physically. The rest of the plot is essentially just the first movie again. Boyfriend leaves girlfriend alone in a house when he goes off to do something back in town. Girlfriend does something mundane while man in mask lingers in the background unnoticed. Boyfriend accidentally shoots innocent man, mistaking him for a stranger. The strangers total their car by ramming their pickup into it. Pin-up girl stalks girlfriend in shed. Man in mask knocks out boyfriend while he's distracted, filmed and edited almost exactly the same way as the first film. It's not shot for shot like the Vince Vaughn Psycho remake from the 90s, but there is enough here for me to say that if you've seen the 2008 movie, you know what's gonna happen in this one. This is a remake. It follows the first film beat for beat, with the exception being the change in setting and tone. The couple has more personality to them this time when compared to the couple in the first movie. Ryan Bound and Madeline Petch work great off each other and give their respective characters a believable relationship. They're likable, they're loving, and they have the survival instincts of a brain-dead sloth. In the scene where Man in Mask, or Scarecrow as they name him in the credits, rams his Ford F-100 into the victim's car like in the first film, Ryan forces Scarecrow away with a shotgun, leaving his truck running. Ryan gets out of his car, brandishes his shotgun for a bit, and then runs off into the woods. 1. You have a shotgun. Scarecrow rammed your car like 3 times, the first time knocking out the driver's side window. You do know that Ford pickups built in the 70s don't have a bulletproof windshield, right? 2. Why didn't you grab the truck? It's right there, keys in the ignition, headlights on, radio blaring. Grab the truck and look for your girlfriend. 3. If your girlfriend is the reason you're not taking the truck, that's fine. But at least take the keys with you. That way, in the event you do find her, you can circle back and then take the truck. You know, the only functional vehicle left. You'd know where it is, and you know it'd still be there, because, you know, you have the fucking keys. The Strangers, aside from their new woodsy and backwoods attire, operate pretty much the same as before, knocking on the door, asking if they finally have Tamara's goddamn address, and slowly and gradually screwing with their victims until they feel like they've broken them enough to kill them. One thing I kinda find strange, is that Pinup Girl and Dollface have essentially swapped roles. Pinup Girl is now the youngest of the three and is the one that knocks on the door asking for Tamara. It's not a nitpick or an issue by any means, it's just, I noticed it, and I thought it was kind of weird. As for new characters exclusive to this movie, they are there, but you won't know more about them until the next chapters. I'm not joking, they intentionally hold back character names and motivations so they can go more in depth with them in the next movie. When it comes to setting up a trilogy, that is something I fucking hate. How do I know this is the case? Well, they have Richard Brake. Richard goddamn Brake in their movie. He only has one scene in the diner at the beginning. He has next to no dialogue in the movie, and I'm pretty sure they don't even refer to him by name. Which is Sheriff Rodder, by the way. How do I know this? Because that's how they credit him in the end credits. The Strangers Chapter 1 is a mixed bag. I like the changes in the setting, the tweaks to the original's tone and pacing. The main couple, for the most part, are more interesting. But it's not as unsettling. The plot borrows heavily from the original film in terms of story beats. The main couple makes some baffling survival decisions, and it deliberately introduces characters played by character actors beloved in this genre, only to save them for the next 2 chapters and exploit them in trailers to get asses in seats. My enjoyment was on and off watching this movie, but now that they've tapped the first film dry in Chapter 1, maybe that means Chapter 2 will be more original. Assuming Lionsgate doesn't cancel the project due to how dreadful Chapter 1 is doing. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'm Kyle the Otaku, and pray by night that Chapter 2 pulls this trilogy back together.